going, and welcome to the Guitar Effect. My name's Rob. This is going to be my second video about this, the GE150Max from Mooer. This is their, in my opinion, entry-level giggable multi-effects and amp modeler and amp capture loader, whatever they're calling those things now. And this is a really decent, it's not, in my opinion, like completely pro spec, but at somewhere between, I think, 200 and 230 euro, this is a really comprehensive solution if you want to go gigging. I've already made one video about this where I covered off the I/O, how you use it, basic sounds and stuff like that. And in this video, I'm just showing how you would, not showing off, I don't show off, showing how you would use it in a more complex gigging capacity, as in a set list, song part by song part preset configuration, which I think is really important for a modeler to be able to do. And this, because of all its different foot switches, can do that very well. The first thing to do is let's have a listen to it in the track, and then I'll give you the outline of what I'm going to show you, and then we'll get into the audio demo. So before we get into the track, what I'm about to show you in this track is the crux of my making this video, right? So my originals band, which is called Kampala, I'll stick a link to our site up here, or our YouTube I should say up here, and go and check us out. We have a single coming out actually next Friday, and our album's coming out in, our first album is coming out in February of next year. I go out and gig with that band regularly where I need to have, I'm the lead singer, right? So I need to just go from verse to chorus to, or intro, verse, chorus, solo or end or whatever, right? And I could be changing a multitude of things. For that I use the HX Effects and the Boss OD200 live, and I control the OD200 with the HX Effects, and you generally go into a house amp or my own amp that I bring with me, and that's what I use live for gigging. So if you were to go direct and ditch the amp, I'm seeing could this do the switching I need, which again is to go song 1, intro, verse, chorus, solo, for example, and then song 2 the same, song 3. So you would use these buttons to switch back and forth, but I digress. So have a listen to this track, because in this track there's 4 parts of the song where I've literally gone intro, verse, chorus and solo across these, and they're all very different sounds, and you can see how well this unit handles it. So this is a song called Modern Disease, and it's by my band Kampala, so check us out if you like the song. So there you go, that's the really basic intro. As I said, the most important thing in the context of the video is a bank up and bank down switch, which means you can go from song to song, or indeed you might only need one preset for a song, which I do need in one example. And also it has the ability to have a sub preset by hitting the existing preset, which you'll understand in the video. And then on top of that, it has a tuner and a tap tempo on the front of the unit, which makes up 4 presets, up and down, tuner, tap tempo. All you need, bang on, and an expression pedal. I'm having some trouble with the expression pedal on this Mooer, I'm not going to lie. I'm finding it very difficult to use and program, so hopefully either I've got something wrong there or you can sort that in the software update. But other than that, the amp captures that are available to load into this unit, as I've demonstrated on loads of other Mooer products, are excellent, right? Brilliant. So the sounds out of it are really good. The effects are workmanlike, if I'm honest, compared to something like the HX Effects or indeed an analog pedal board, but the effects are perfectly good for gigging, originals or covers, you know, they're totally acceptable. They're just not mega inspirational. But everything is there, which is really important. So here is more advanced switching and more complex sounds on the GE150Max by Mooer. Okay, so for the second demo here of the GE150Max, I am playing this. This is a Quart Source BV. It's a Quart 335 copy. And it's brilliant 335 copy, and you can't get them anywhere. They're really, really hard to find. I think it's about 10, 15 years old. I got it for €250 second hand, which is an unbelievable bargain. I am playing it right now on the bridge pickup, and so what I'm going to do is, out of the guitar into the GE150Max into the interface, same as last time, nothing else in play other than the GE150. So what I'm going to do is quickly run through the patches that I created for the last demo, which is like the really basic sound. So I have copper clean. All of these run the Victory copper with a boost pedal in front of them, activated by the current preset switch. Copper clean with a boost. And then we have copper dirty, which is the same amp but with gained up. These are captures, by the way, with a pedal in front. And on the third one, it's called Copper Snow, and this is for the Snow Patrol song Run, which has a tremolo and a delay. And then when I hit the switch, it brings in a rotary and turns off the tremolo. On the last patch, I have Copper Fuzz. So on Copper Fuzz, it is the dirty version of the amp, but with a fuzz face in front. But when I hit the switch, it turns on a really mid-forward EQ for, this is for a cover band I'm playing actually, for No One Knows. So they were the basic sounds I was able to set up really easily. So we can handle a cover band gig, you know, a clean sound, a dirty sound, a lead sound if you want, and a few kind of minor departures from basic sounds really easily. So what I wanted to do is show how you would set up, how it would handle more so the idea of being able to do some more complex effect switching, right? So I have programmed in the first, I think, four songs of my band, my original band Kampala's set. The song that you heard at the beginning would have been this first song I'm about to go through here, and these would have been the patches I would have used for that, right? So the first song on my band set is called Modern Disease, and it opens with a big muff sound, and then I go to a clean sound, and then I go to a rotary sound, and then I go to a lead sound, right? So what I did was, for all of these sounds, I'm using the exact same amp as the previous set of presets. I'm using the Victory Copper, which is a capture which has the amp and cab in one, right? It's a clean one, and I drive the preamp full when I want to get a bit of drive, and then I boost that with pedals. So in this case, I have the Victory Copper, and what I'll do, by the way, is after I've gone through these basic sounds, well, they're not basic, but after I've gone through these sounds, I'll jump into the editor and just show you how you would set up one of these sounds, okay? Okay, so in Modern Disease, you can see here on the pedal cam, right, that there is just a distortion pedal, an amp, a delay, a reverb, and a noise suppressor on. Right, so this is the copper amp with the big muff in front of it. It sounds like this. And there's a delay there. Then I hit one switch and go from that. The muff gets turned off, the compressor gets turned on, and I get this clean sound with a lovely different delay to the last kind of preset, and a really nice delay, a tape delay. And you can hear as I start to dig in there, it gets dirtier. So hit the third switch, go to the dirty version of the amp with the rotary on. Incidentally, there are 2 rotaries on the GE150Max, and this is actually a fast chorus because the rotaries is the same on the GE1000, the GS1000 and GE150Max. The rotaries that Mooer do just unfortunately aren't up to the task, so a chorus is better. And at the end of that section, I hit the switch and I go into the lead sound. So I have had a big muff, a rotary pedal, a tube screamer, and 2 to 3 different delays in those 4 patches that I've been able to program in really quickly, audition really nicely in the room here, and I know that it should sound good through PA when I get there. If it doesn't, there's a global EQ that I can tweak how it sounds in the PA in the room. So as a way of going direct, this works really, really well. It's easy to program. It's got the variety of sounds that I need to be able to do a little bit more than just basic sounds. So on that note, I'm going to go on to the next bank. So what's interesting here is each one of those sounds had a different preset in the last bank for the last song. That's not always required. So on this song, I'm just going to tune down to D here. On this song, there are only 2 sounds. There is a clean sound with a delay in it, and then there is a clon sound with a delay in it. So what I have here is I have a compressor, again, the Victory, the clean version. I have the noise suppressor, delay, and the reverb. But when I hit this active pre-sweat switch, it turns off the compressor and turns on the clon. So I go from this to this. And that sounds like this. So the main riff in the song goes... for the verses, and then when I come into the chorus I hit the switch and I go into this chord progression, like arpeggio thing for the chorus. Then clone back off again. What I think is really important to come back to here is a big reason why this works so well is those captures are just great amp sound. So that's one really simple song where you only need 2 presets. However, on the next one, called Perfect, we come back to a situation where not only do I need more than one preset for the song, I actually need to use this switching function in each song. So Perfect starts, it's in D as well, bridge pickup, Perfect starts with this riff that goes like this. And what that is a dirty version of the amp with the compressor on and a delay, right? So when it comes into the chorus, I hit the switch and it turns on a tube screamer, this time with the compressor because I want a bit of extra gain. So what's really interesting now is I hit the C switch, same delay, but the mix has been brought way up for this kind of trilly part that I play in the middle of the song that goes like this. Sometimes I would choose to do that by pushing the expression pedal forward on the same preset, but as I mentioned in the last video. I can't figure out how to get the expression pedal to map a parameter. The way it says it's able to do it, it's just not delivering on, unfortunately. So hopefully either Mooer can sort of correct that with a software update, or maybe there's another video out there that's just demonstrating it better and I'm just being a dumbass. But from that we move to the last preset, which has the end of the song, which has this arpeggio part again that goes. And what that is again the compressor and the drive, which is just a tube screamer, into the dirty amp, but this time it has a rotary on, it has a delay on, and has a reverb on. And what's cool about this is, for most of the song I have that. But at the end of the song I want to turn the rotary off but keep the same sound. I hit the switch. The unit with its switching capability of being able to do one or two things, as many things as you want really, with one switch in each preset is really useful, and it limits me having to have 5 presets for that song. So in that way, the switching on it, especially for an entry level unit, there's no sub presets, but in a way being able to switch in and out one effect at a time, or indeed in this case being able to switch off the compressor on the drive, off the compressor on the drive, sort of creates sub presets for you. So the last song I want to demonstrate is this song You. Okay, so again, just tune back up. And this one, it starts off with a perfectly timed delay. I'll come to the delay timing in a sec. And this is a tape delay. This is what I'm doing for the intro. Then when the band comes in and hits the switch, it turns on a tremolo. And then when the intro is done, we come into this really heavy riff part, so I switch a big muff on. After that, into the verse, it comes in with this really cool time delay part that repeats the kind of stabbed parts that I play. I'm just really trying to keep that light off my guitar, which sounds like this. Then when I come into the chorus, it's the exact same sound, except now I'm turning on a phaser. It's a really slow phaser that gives this kind of sense of really slow movement. And after that, we are back into the riff. So I think that gives an idea of the capacity to set up different song part presets without any real problem in delay and timing. In fact, I'm just going to check that, right? So if I go, as soon as I release the switch, the presets change. So it's got no delay in changing presets. So I think I'm going to get into the interface or the software control and show you how you would build one of these presets and how easy it is. But I think it's important to note that it can handle pretty complex effects changes and pretty efficiently with that built-in step on the current preset switch and change whatever things you want to change. It's not as powerful switching as say the GE150. There's a very, very big difference in price between those. But I think as an entry-level modeler and multi-effects, you could do a lot with this. And I think, by the way, the price, I can't find the price on the regular one online, but the one with the battery is €250, which is really, really, really cheap. So I'd say this one's between €200 and €220 or something like that. So I think for that, you're getting basically a stage ready box that you can go and get really, really great amp tones in with the captures, and then the effects are completely acceptable for a live gigging situation. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go through the 4 patches that I have for this song You, okay, and show you like everything I'm doing. So on the first patch here, you can see that the amp, if my mouse would click on it, is the 57E Victory Copper, and there are the settings of the amp, right? You can see that the gain is backed off and the master is pushed, the mid is pushed a little bit, right? I also have the compressor on with the attack fairly high, the threshold and ratio fairly low, threshold middle, ratio low, and the level pushed slightly. And then if I go to delay, I have the mod delay on and I have a reverb on, okay? But if I go up here to, where is it? This button, this foot switch button, it says mod is selected for control. The active foot switch here is the, you can't see the unit by the way, but the active foot switch is the control foot switch. So what happens is, when I hit the controls foot switch, the mod bank comes on. So you can see it, if you see my mouse here, the mod bank is on when the foot switch is on, and it's off when it's off. So that's the difference between the, what I'll do is actually I'll quickly show you one by one the things. So the cab, or the amp is off there for some reason, I don't know why. So the amp, the compressor, this is the compressor off, compressor on, there's a bit more sustain, there's a noise gate, and then the delay, turn the delay off. You can also see here, on the delay I have a subdivision of 1.8. So it's actually 0.8 delay. Now, you can select whatever subdivision you want here, 0.8, quarter, you know, whatever subdivision you want. Now, there's something I wanted to talk about. When you do this, you have to tap in the tempo of the overall preset that subdivision is attached to. There's no way currently on the GE150Max to set the tempo for the overall preset. You can go up here and change the BPM for the rhythm, which is a drum machine. I haven't even opened the drum machine, but it won't work. I can't set the tempo for the preset other than with a tap tempo. Again, I could be wrong about that, but I can't find a way to change it. So the BPM is set for the drum machine only, and I can't find a way to set the BPM to the song, for example, without tapping it in. But once you tap it in, like tap it in with the drummer at the beginning of the song, save it, and it'll be saved at that tempo, right? So that's the first patch. If I come down then and switch to U fuzz, which, hang on, nope. So I get down to the second preset of U fuzz, you can see that the amp is exactly the same. I now have a muffy in, I have the compressor on, I have a noise gate, and I have the delay is still, this time it's in an 8th, and it's digital, it's not mod, and the mix is really low. If we get down to verse, nope. If we get down to verse, you can see I have the amp, the noise gate, the delay, and the reverb. The amp, again, this time, the gain has been pushed. So this is a dirty version of the amp. So there's no pedal on, it's this dirty. Whereas if I had the gain back where I had it before for all the others, it'd be like this. So I've pushed the gain, but I've also pulled back the master from where it was in the clean sound. I haven't changed any of the EQ options or anything like that. And then on the last one, U verse, which should be called U chorus. Right, if I go to U verse, and I've realised I need to rename it, I can just go up here and type in chorus, hit that, save it, and now my preset name is changed. And now we have that phasery. So what's going on here is you have the distortion is the flex boost, so it's just kind of a boost into the amp to make it a little bit dirtier. The amp is set to the way it was in the previous part, but I've put the pedal on to get it dirtier. The mod is a phaser, it's got a low rate, level and high depth. And then the delay is the analog delay this time, so that it sits a bit more in the back. And then reverb all the time has been the spring. I also always leave on a small amount of spring reverb. I don't really use any other spring reverbs. So that's kind of how you use the editor. It's really quick, it's really easy, it plugs in via USB, no hassles, works really well. So, there you go, that's my 2 videos on the GE150Max. Thank you very much to Mooer for sending it out. I've been pretty impressed with it. For the money, it's amazing. And I would recommend this if you are getting into modelling and you are getting into indeed playing with an amp live, but you need to have more than 2 or 3 sounds. I think this handles that job really, really well. Everything you need is there, and I've been really enjoying it, yeah. So thanks to Mooer for sending it out. If you want to know more about the basic version of it, go and look to the other video, which I'll link here. The first one of these, that gives you the basics about it. This one was more about the advanced switching. So yeah, thanks to Mooer for sending it out. Any questions, throw them in the comment section down below. Please go and check out my band. I would really appreciate it. And if you like what you hear on our YouTube, subscribe to us. If you don't like it, don't subscribe. But I'm really trying to grow our band's YouTube channel. My band's called Kampala, as I mentioned before. And I'll stick the link to our channel up here now, but it'll also be in the card at the end of the video. So, in fact, I'm not going to stick it up there. It'll just be in the card at the end of the video. So, thanks for watching. Any questions, throw them in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe. And I shall see you in another video again soon. Take it easy. Bye-bye.